Get ready, because today you're going to learn the truth about an object that has stirred the minds of scientists and challenged the very essence of our understanding of the universe. Oumuamua is this mysterious interstellar object that some people talk about as a piece of an ancient asteroid, while others whisper about its possible extraterrestrial origins. What if it carries encrypted messages from distant galaxies or hides secrets that could change our view of the cosmos? We'll uncover all the mysteries and find out whether this mysterious visitor is a threat to Earth or if it's the key to a new phase in our understanding of the universe. These are stories that will give you goosebumps. 19. On October 19, 2017, Canadian astronomer Robert Warwick discovered an unusual object in the solar system that was moving at an incredible speed. This was the first occurrence of its kind. The discovery took place at an observatory in Hawaii. The object was named Oumuamua, which translates from Hawaiian to scout or messenger that has come from afar. While this name might not seem very original, it still captures the essence of the phenomenon. Scientists identified the object as a comet and began to observe it. However, it soon became clear that it didn't fit the typical image of a comet. It didn't have a tail. And without a comet's tail and coma, the messenger didn't fit the usual ideas about comets. So, a new class of celestial bodies was created for the messenger, the hyperbolic asteroid. When scientists took a closer look at its shape, it became clear that it resembled a cigar. And that's not all. It turned out that this mysterious object is rotating. It makes a full rotation on its axis in almost 8 hours. Spectral analysis helped us find out that the object has a reddish color and a rough surface. Its reflectivity is inconsistent. Sometimes it gets darker, and other times it's 10 times brighter. We haven't come across asteroids with these kinds of characteristics before. They are usually round or oval in shape, but never log-shaped. They don't twinkle like light bulbs, and they don't spin back and forth like restless school kids in class. So what is this mysterious asteroid that looks like a spaceship? All of this is really strange and confusing. Then something even more amazing happened. It was able to change its speed. When Oumuamua was first discovered, it was already moving pretty fast. As it got closer to the sun, it slowed down, and then it shot away from the sun. Its flight path is also quite unusual. Oumuamua was moving along the curved, open hyperbolic orbit, which scientists call a slingshot. Calculations showed that it's not planning to come back to us, like other space objects do, such as comets. And even the planes of the orbits of the known celestial bodies are different from the trajectory of this visitor. At the initial stage of observations, scientists viewed Oumuamua as a cigar-shaped object covered in dark materials, possibly black organic matter or iron oxides. However, shortly after the observations began, something unexpected happened. The object's speed increased, it changed its trajectory, and started moving away from the sun. Astronomers proposed 2 possible reasons for this phenomenon. The first theory is related to outgassing, which is typical for comets. When Oumuamua got close to the sun, the dark coating on its surface could have burned off or melted, exposing a layer of ice. This led to the formation of a jet propulsion that accelerated the object's movement. The second theory suggests that Oumuamua's electromagnetic properties allowed it to speed up, as if it were a solar sail. The object caught the solar wind, which started blowing it away from the sun. Since the solar wind is steady, this effect should gradually fade, and the object might slow down a bit. Initially, it was thought that the messenger came from the direction of the star Vega in the constellation Lyra. However, a year later, researchers from astronomical institutes in Tokyo, Hawaii, and Europe identified 4 more possible sources of its origin. Among them are 2 stars in the constellation Cetus, one in the constellation Virgo, and another in the constellation Unicorn. The journey of Oumuamua to our solar system could have taken anywhere from 1 to 4 million years. And the distance it had to cover ranges from 66 to 135 light years, depending on the starting point of its journey. Discussions erupted in the scientific community about the mysterious object that caught the attention of researchers. Of course, There were also suggestions that it could be an alien spaceship or a research probe of extraterrestrial origin. This version was put forward by Abraham Loeb, a professor of astronomy at Harvard and the author of many scientific papers. He was backed by Sean Kirkpatrick, the head of the Pentagon's Department of Unidentified Aerial Phenomena. They believe that Oumuamua is a spaceship with an ion engine and a solar sail, possibly malfunctioning or abandoned. An astronomer from the University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Jason Wright, also supported this theory. He suggested that the alien could be a ship that has lost control or a research probe, which explains its rotation in 3 different planes. Looking at Oumuamua's trajectory, it's easy to believe that. It zoomed past the Sun at a distance, 17% closer than Mercury's orbit, flew by Earth, successfully zipped through the asteroid belt and Jupiter's gravity, and now it's already in the area of Pluto. So, it seems like it can not only control its speed but also maneuver skillfully. Or is it just a lucky coincidence? The path that Oumuamua is taking is close enough to the Sun to perform a gravitational maneuver near the star. Oumuamua's surface is extremely reflective. If we were building a spacecraft for a gravitational maneuver near the Sun, it would have a similar reflectivity coefficient. The spectra obtained from the illuminated and shadowed sides of Oumuamua are noticeably different. It looks like the different sides of the object are covered with different materials. No signs of a comet tail or coma were found, which are typical for comets in our solar system. The object showed no interest in us. You can confidently say that a spacecraft from another civilization would have noticed the radio brightness of the third planet from the Sun. However, even if Voyager 1 accidentally picked up a signal from one of Uranus or Neptune's moons, it still wouldn't be able to change its flight path. The travel time to the nearest star is just too long, hundreds of thousands of years. But maybe the craft is unmanned. Oumuamua isn't sending out any signals for now. At least, we haven't detected them. The non-gravitational acceleration of Oumuamua is inversely proportional to the square of the distance from it to the Sun. Such acceleration can be explained by outgassing in the case of a comet-like body. Some scientists with more traditional views suggest that the messenger appeared naturally. According to the hypothesis by astrophysicist Stephen Desch from the University of Arizona and Alan Jackson from the School of Earth and Space Exploration, Oumuamua is a fragment of a planet similar to Pluto that was ejected into interstellar space after its home planet was destroyed in a planetary catastrophe. And for millions of years, this wanderer has been roaming the vastness of space. This version was also considered by Chinese scientists and experts from the Berkeley Institute. Researchers concluded that molecular hydrogen is to blame. When it transitions from a solid state to a gaseous one, its evaporation is invisible, and the object can accelerate up to 50% of the speed. Astronomers are in agreement. An extraordinary event has taken place. No matter what hypotheses the experts hold, they all agree on one thing: the discovered object Oumuamua is something extraordinary. Since the moment the celestial body was discovered, researchers have been scratching their heads about how to catch up with it and study it. Until recently, sending a probe to perform a gravitational maneuver around the Sun was the only real option. A gravitational maneuver would allow the probe to use the Sun's gravity to speed up and change its trajectory. However, implementing this plan requires creating a heavy and expensive heat shield that would allow the probe to get close enough to the Sun. Recently, a new approach to exploring space has emerged, using Jupiter instead of the Sun to launch a spacecraft. Even though Jupiter's gravity is significantly less than that of the Sun, this method still has its advantages. In 2028, a space probe is set to launch, which will orbit around Earth and Venus for several years. Then it will head towards Jupiter, where it will perform a gravitational maneuver. This will allow the probe to reach its target in about 20 years. It will be able to catch up with the interstellar object called Oumuamua. The encounter with the object could happen either in 2050 or 2054, depending on the speed of the probe. In another 2 years, the probe will send a photo of this mysterious object back to Earth. The project has been named Lyra. Now NASA needs to approve it soon, since there are only 6 years left to prepare for the launch. In 2028, there will be what's called a launch window. The planets will be positioned just right for the launch. If the probe isn't launched during this time, it's likely it will never be sent, and the mystery will remain unsolved. In a world of information where news travels at the speed of light, sometimes things get a bit mixed up. Recently, the media reported the discovery of a new celestial object that's being called both a comet and an asteroid. And this is all about the same celestial body. In reality, this object is nothing more than the already known Oumuamua, and it's currently leaving the solar system. Some publications are trying to stir up the situation by claiming that Oumuamua supposedly poses a danger to the Sun. But that's just not possible. Any asteroid that gets too close to the Sun will be swallowed up without causing any harm to the star or to us. The celestial object Oumuamua is moving at an incredible speed, one that's unreachable for today's spacecraft. But the Initiative for Interstellar Exploration hasn't lost hope of sending a probe to it. One of the plans being considered is to use a gravitational maneuver at Jupiter and then fly past the Sun at a distance of 3 of its radii to take advantage of the Oberth effect. This will allow the probe to accelerate to the necessary speed. They're also looking into the possibilities of using solar, laser electric, and laser sail propulsion systems. The main goal is to reach the asteroid as quickly as possible, while also gathering useful scientific information. If the probe moves too fast, it'll just zip past the target without being able to enter orbit or land. It's impossible to give a definite answer. The thing is, in the vastness of the universe, our solar system could even encounter a star. Such events, while not common, do happen from time to time. It's clear that encountering a star is much more dangerous, as it can destabilize orbits just by its gravitational influence, even without direct contact with the planets. However, our solar system has been around for quite a while, and if such events have occurred, they haven't had a serious impact on its stability. As for the planets, their mass is much smaller, so the object's flight past the solar system in the outer regions does not pose a danger. Of course, there would be disturbances that we could measure if this were happening right now. But it's definitely premature to talk about the end of the world. Since 2017, Bergner and her colleagues have discovered 6 more similar objects in the solar system. They don't have a visible coma, but they do have non-gravitational accelerations. These objects have been called dark comets. In 2031, the Japanese mission Hayabusa 2, which recently collected samples from the asteroid Ryugu, is set to reach one of these objects. Until recently, this object was also considered an asteroid, but in December 2022, it was reclassified as a comet. Bergner and Seligman believe that all icy bodies exposed to interstellar cosmic rays should look the same. However, the object 21 Borisov, which came to us from interstellar space and was discovered in 2019 by Russian amateur astronomer Gennady Borisov, has a giant gas and dust tail and resembles a typical comet of the solar system more than it does Oumuamua. Astronomers had very little time to study the mysterious object known as Oumuamua before it vanished from the telescope's view. It's been over 5 years, but there's still no clear explanation for what they managed to see. Do you dream of surprising people in the style of Oumuamua? Then welcome to our team. We're creating inspiring content. If you're a pro at editing videos, have a knack for voiceovers, or can write captivating scripts, we'd love to have you on our team. Just message our Telegram bot, and let's color the world together with vibrant hues. Message our Telegram bot, and let's color the world together with vibrant hues.